Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whatever time zone you may be in. This is Off the Grid Podcast with Aiden and Jared.
You know all the right next to the truth.
And now we're going to, in this part 2 of our marijuana series, we're going to talk about, we're going to go into studies that have proven that marijuana is the least dangerous drug out there.
Yes.
Is where we're going to lead into.
So some of the benefits. More into some of the benefits.
Because we talked about a lot of cons.
Yeah.
So let's get into some of the pros.
Yes. So this is a good start right here. So marijuana legalization regulation, obviously.
Well, that's hard to say.
Yeah. Basically the first part is saying a bunch of stuff about it. Why should we legalize? Here we go. All right. So first of all, it reduces harm. The criminalization of marijuana use, disproportionately harms young people and people of color, sponsors massive levels of violence and corruption, and fails to curb youth access. So basically what it's saying is they're using it as a scare tactic, basically, to try to stop people from using it.
Right.
And it's not really as dangerous as people say it is. I mean, think about it. Like we said in the last podcast, would you rather have a little bit of weed, or have alcohol? You know? I mean, alcohol's been proven to kill. You know, it's a bit more toxic, more...
I think it's more... I think it's less dangerous if you are not like a... Well, you got to be careful. Like,
Young people,
obviously, alcohol is the highest on the list.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a reason why it's the highest on the list. The reason is because it's easily accessible to anybody. You could just walk into a grocery store.
Super Bowl. A bunch of people getting, you know...
Yeah, I mean...
Probably.
And there's a lot of people that are responsible drinkers out there.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that...
Heck,
that
we're turning 21 in a couple months. I mean,
yeah, so... just because you drink one or two beers, that doesn't mean you're going to get addicted to it. And it's like, just
everyone's body's built differently, so you don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
now weed, that's an addictive chemical. It has addictive chemicals in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, there's no denying that. And anyone that says that.
Well, actually, we'll talk about that. Actually.
So you're saying that
there's been studies done to say it's not addictive. Actually. Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
But it's they say it as it's psychologically addictive, but not physically. Which means to convince yourself into thinking you need it.
To be fair, really, you can get addicted to anything. There doesn't have to...
caffeine.
Yeah. I mean,
heck, I had an energy drink phase.
Yeah.
While I was addicted to that stuff, and I couldn't stop. I mean, even right now, I have one.
I mean, that's the form of an energy drink right there. And there's nothing wrong with having an energy drink, like, every Friday or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's not an addiction, really, because, like, okay, so I have a cup of coffee every day. That's an addiction.
Yeah.
You know, like, I have it...
You need that.
Like, I can't start my day. I can't get moving, you know? Like, I feel groggy and... It's,
That caffeine helps you,
I
man.
mean, it's not like I drink, like, 5 cups in the morning. I drink 1, okay? So...
Can you imagine how hyped you'd be?
I would be, like...
Woo!
And I'd be peeing uncontrollably. That's another big... I mean, let's be honest...
Gotta go to the bathroom.
5 minutes later, gotta pee again.
I'm sorry. If you were at work, that would not be good.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
You'd be wasting time.
So
that the boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I
poop on company time. Good one, Aiden. Brought it up from the last podcast, or the what podcast?
A couple
was
podcasts
that?
ago. Let's just say that. A couple podcasts.
Yeah, a couple podcasts ago. If you guys go back and listen to it, go find it.
We're
not telling you where it's at.
No,
go find it.
Okay, so next reason, right?
Yes. Okay, so.
And Jared, you brought this up before we started recording.
The creating jobs portion of it,
This is big.
That's why I'm on the fence, because if marijuana did not create jobs at all, then I'd be like, why are we even going into this? Why? There's no sense. It just causes all these risks.
Well, I have reasons,
there's a whole bunch of reasons, but
not just money. Yeah.
I mean, when it comes down to it,
it would help the U.S.
Money means everything. Aiden.
Money makes the world go round.
Yeah, and that's what everything comes down to. Like, even if someone passes away, and then you're like, okay, what money do I get from this person? Yeah. Like, it literally comes down to money. Even if after you die, you mourn that person a little bit, but then you're like, okay, what money do I get? What do I get? You know, it's like...
I mean, it's a very selfish thing.
It is.
I mean...
It's sad that we come down to that point, but
humans are like that. There's no denying it. Humans...
But it's also a good thing. There's downsides to just being, money-driven all the time.
But there's also downside to being pure, like, minimalist, not caring.
Like, how we are capitalistic. economy.
Yep, we talked about America. That last podcast.
Yeah, we're not Socialism. We're not in countries
socialist Denmark.
Yeah, or Venezuela.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but creating jobs, that's the biggest thing that our economy strives for.
And I think this would really help with the debt. National debt, it would bring in billions, probably.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you said this before we recorded.
Yeah.
Marijuana is a cash cow. I mean, it really is. I mean, if you look into... I mean, which I don't know why I'm sorry to kind of go off track, but Mexico, I don't know why they're having such a problem with their economy. Because they legalized weed and paid a bunch of money for that.
And they probably have...
because the cartels control it and it's all like...
They probably have a whole bunch of other issues that's causing it. Mm-hmm. Like, think about it, though. Like, our economy is doing relatively good right now.
Because of Trump. I mean, it's no surprise. I mean, you Democrats can, want all you want, but Trump is making our economy better. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's proven.
And just think about it. Like, if we were able to nationally legalize weed, and then it would be sold throughout the countries... The country,
the states.
Yeah, throughout each state, and all that money would collectively go towards, the greater good of the United States.
Yeah,
we would be able to pay off a lot more debt than what we had before.
While being able to have a good time.
Yeah. But
and it would save money. Oh, this is interesting too. This is next reason. Law enforcement. I don't even need to read this because I already know all this. So, police waste a lot of time. First of all. I'm sorry to any policeman that
I see where you're going with this, yeah.
They spend a lot of time
hunting down people
that
are
marijuana when they could be solving a murder. Mm-hmm. Someone that's being murdered.
I agree with you on that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's dumb.
Why should they spend precious seconds pulling over someone that's maybe a little bit... Well, obviously they could kill someone and drive it, but like, it's fine. Let's say in their home. And they're home smoking a joint, They're not doing anyone any harm.
Yeah.
And... Right down the street, there's probably someone shooting someone.
Yeah, like that time that you are pulling somebody over because they have weed in the back of their car.
Someone's getting shot.
Probably. Yeah, and you could have saved their life.
Granted, know what I mean? That's probably because of drug use, but not weed. I mean, weed doesn't make you that messed up.
I mean, depending, like gangs might try, like
say drug war,
there might be like, we need those drugs, and then they start shooting at each other. But I can see how that could get involved. But if it's
the cartels and stuff,
if it's just a regular like pulling someone over for speeding, and then they realize, there's weed in the back, you're arrested, and
meanwhile someone's getting shot down the block, and you're not even what? Like,
it really
it's stupid.
You're just
one of the reasons why these school shootings are so massive. I mean, not that it has anything to do with weed, but, like, I think a lot of less shootings would happen if, they didn't focus so much on the weed problem. A lot more lives could be saved. Like, if someone, like, pulls out a gun in the street, they could, like,
I can see where you're going with this, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, seriously. Like, they waste so much time. And the government has wasted millions of... A lot of money has probably been contributed to our national debt because of, this stupid thing. Like... They waste so much time, and they could be doing other things.
Oh, yeah. I mean... Yeah, you would... I mean, really, it's just kind of like with the gun thing,
The drug war's failed. I'm sorry to say it.
I mean, we've talked about it before with guns.
Yeah.
Like, you concentrate on taking away these guns, but it's like, is that really helping?
Look at Chicago. No. Like
it's leading to...
Still gun city in the U.S., but yeah, it's more violent for gun laws.
In London, taking away their country. The gun's the problem. No, it's the people that are the problem.
Because they're not the guns. Stabbing, so yeah.
Because if you take away one thing, they're gonna use something else.
They come with the bare hands if they have to. I mean,
strangle somebody. Yeah. Next one is promoting consumer safety.
Yes.
So it says marijuana product testing is becoming a standard requirement for legalized marijuana markets. This means consumers are better informed about the marijuana they use.
And I'm going to bounce off of that and say this. Hold on, let me see if it's already here. Nope, it's not, so I'm talking about it. I'm going to bounce off that and say, now, this is a lot for MDMA, if you guys know what MDMA is.
Okay.
Ecstasy, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that kind of drug, it actually goes for weed too. Because it's illegal, you have to ship it from other countries, right? Do you know where I'm going with this? They have to... You don't know if it's pure.
Yeah.
It might be infected with other crap.
You don't know...
TCB, that kind of crap. And...
Yeah, that's kind of like how certain businesses, like, say, Chipotle, for example. Chipotle, they proclaim that our food is, free of these non-GMO and all this. Well, how do they know it's non-GMO?
Right.
Because it's not like Chipotle themselves, like, oh, let's start a farm, and then
it's
called.
I mean, maybe they did in the very beginning.
It's not called Chipotle Farm, like, no, it's not. Most likely, I don't think there's
Chipotle Farm. Can you imagine?
Like what you walk along and see Chipotle Farm, like what? Okay, so it's probably not that, but what it is that they use certain farmers, like they go and certify. Okay, I'm like, all right, so we're gonna use use your product to put into our restaurant.
Yeah.
And they make sure they do like quality checks or whatever to make sure that they're non-GMO and all this other, chemicals like organic or whatever they strive for. And same thing, like Panera does the same thing. They strive for clean food is how they call it.
McDonald's doesn't even care though.
McDonald's is just
they don't care.
Yeah, eat all the fatty stuff you want.
But bringing it back to weed though, what I was saying.
Yeah,
like MDMA. You don't know if it's if they drop, if they what's the word that us enthusiasts use? Tainted it with something.
Mm-hmm.
Tainted it with it's kind of like
if something really dangerous that could actually kill you. Yeah.
If they drop some methamphetamine in there and you had weed thinking it was a pure weed,
like Aiden,
you're gonna die from freaking.
Like Aiden, you have to know where you're getting this weed from. Like you can't just say, okay, I'm getting this from Uncle Larry down the street.
You don't know if he's infested it with. I mean, you don't know if he's tainted it with meth, cocaine. You don't know what the heck is.
Yeah, how can you trust Uncle Larry down the street?
Right.
He's on all sorts of drugs.
Right, exactly. I mean, so if it's legalized, you can make sure that it's pure, because there would be an actual business that are making it, and they have to follow FDA regulations.
Mm-hmm.
And they can make sure it's pure weed.
That also goes into the fact of I've heard it before that the issue with medical marijuana is that it's hard to measure out the dosage.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because it's very imbalanced.
Yes,
like when
you don't know if it's a gram, 2 grams, like you don't even know.
Yeah, because they have different chemicals in there.
Yep.
It's not like you like
and each chemical weighs different than another one.
Yeah, it's not like here take 2 ibuprofens. It's not you can't do that
because that's not a physical
It's not
pill.
the same throughout.
It's not a pill. It's a piece of.
Yeah, because they have to like mix stuff together.
It's basically do it too. I mean, so you don't. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, literally, like it's not even.
It's not even. Yeah.
So
good
that's
word for it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why it's like I'm like I don't know if medical
marijuana
use is like really that effective because
it is effective if you know what the dosage is.
I mean, if you don't care about dosage, like okay, then go away. But I mean, not go away, but go on with it.
Have a field day.
Yeah, have fun with it. But it's like how can a doctor be like, okay, here, take 5 grams of this, it's like if you can't measure it out,
which means I don't know if you know this, 5 grams is a heck of a lot of weed, so
Yeah, I know, but
that's a lot of weed.
I just pulled something off the top of my head, so I wasn't
imagine taking 5 grams of weed. Oh my gosh,
you would take 5 grams of weed an hour.
You would be blasted off, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So is that pretty much everything for that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay, so all right, so we have some more pros to it, right, Aiden?
Yeah. Not a pro, but I also wanted to mention this is really quick, kind of as a side note. I did some internet searches before, and it turns out that I literally, now I'm not buying it just for research, but I found edibles on Google and stuff. They literally have them on Google. You don't even have to go to the dark web to find that stuff. It's literally right on Google. Like,
wow.
Imagine that. Like, I mean, they do all this stuff to say,
stop it from going around.
Right on Google. Yeah. I just thought that was
I don't know if there's certain restrictions, obviously, with when you're buying it off of Google, because like you haven't went on there and actually put in a credit card and tested it. No,
I'm just doing research for our podcast, obviously.
Because you don't know, I don't know if this is an actual thing or not, but if they would entice you and be like, oh, look, here's this marijuana that you can buy online without any complications. And then you're going to have somebody that says, you bought it, so we're going to arrest you now because you're not allowed to have it. Because they know what's in it.
The company could put in the blame on you. Like, he's the one that bought it.
Yeah, it's not our fault. Like, we didn't know
because you made the business.
Like, say if you're from Michigan where it is fully legalized,
and then you put it over to Ohio, like,
because say
you didn't tell him to do that.
Say it's a Michigan company that was selling this to you, and they think that you're in Michigan,
but you're really in Ohio.
Yeah, like
Well, we didn't know. He's in Ohio. I mean, that's not our fault. We do it in Michigan.
Yeah, and I think it's really on the consumer to know exactly if it's legal in the state.
What are the good reasons why we're capitalists? I mean, it allows for stuff like this.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you have some other ones we haven't mentioned? Pros, I mean, because we've already mentioned that it helps treat depression and PTSD.
Yeah. And this goes into the next thing. I mean, I can kind of tie it in, but you would generally have a good time. Like, just like it's not like meth. You don't develop, well, with PTSD you can, but a normal joint, you're not gonna have full psychosis and a full mental breakdown like you would on meth. You're not gonna be seeing demons, ghosts, and all that crap. You're not gonna be developing PTSD. You're just gonna be, having a good time. Maybe you smell a little bit bad, but I mean, you can take a shower after. I mean, so
that's so true. Maybe
you smell a little bit bad,
but you know what, Aiden,
you can take a shower though afterwards.
To be quite fair, I smell a little bit bad after I have Taco Bell because like, oh my gosh, why am I eating this? Oh wait, yeah, because it may be horse meat, but I love it anyways.
So true.
And it gives me horrible gas, but. Man, I may feel horrible after eating Taco Bell, but I love it still.
Same thing with weed. Hold on, I'm just imagining. Can you imagine if they put weed in your Taco Bell? Oh my god. And you wouldn't be able to tell because...
What you wouldn't be able to tell. This?
No. Wait, you wouldn't be able to tell though because there's lettuce in it anyway, so you wouldn't be able to tell if there's a weed leaf.
Is this lettuce or a weed leaf?
Is this lettuce or marijuana?
Marijuana.
Oh, we have to smoke weed every day.
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah, we had to. But, yeah, I mean, another pro, though, to get serious again. And it actually does contain another pro. We might have already mentioned this, but, just to recap a little bit. There's already chemicals that are found in the human body for this stuff. I mean, THC has been found in... THC is one of them.
Okay.
When I ask, it's found in the human body, and it's like... The reason it's even called cannabis, guess why?
Why?
Cannabinoids. They are parts of the brain. That's why it's called cannabis, because it affects your cannabinoids. It blocks... I think it does the same thing as LSD, but like it's to a different part of the brain that kind of blocks your receptors.
Right.
And so it makes like, I guess it makes you high, because like it blocks... the stuff that produces that chemical naturally floods it with it. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, that's why you get high. Yeah.
And you already mentioned, that it's available on Google and all that.
I mean, so they haven't really done a good job to stop it. I mean,
no
matter how much they try. The drug, I will say this, and we can move on to this now because, it's the next part of it, but the drug war has failed. I'm sorry, the drug war has completely failed. I mean, what about prohibition, right? You saw how well that worked out.
Yeah, I mean, that's one prime example of it is that, and, it's you can't help that, you get certain people you cannot 100% say, okay, we're going to protect you from getting addicted to it.
No. Why do you think the black market exists? I mean, that kind of stuff. I mean, that's why there's such thing as underground markets. I mean, make it illegal, people do it anyway.
Exactly. And so I'm gonna talk about here real quickly here.
Yeah.
I was gonna talk about some reasons why it should stay illegal.
Yeah.
So
we kind of mentioned this in part 1, but we just wanna.
Yeah, we'll just briefly go over it a little bit.
And that's from the FDA, so this is this is the official guys to know.
U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Yeah. Official government. Yep.
Looking for treatment, the FDA understands that caregivers and patients are looking for treatment options for unmet medical needs. In some instances, patients or their caregivers are turning to marijuana in an attempt to treat conditions such as seizures and chemotherapy-induced nausea.
You talked about with cancer, but I didn't know seizures. Wow. That's really interesting. Wow.
So
we can help you with seizures. Wow. That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, and they're also saying here that untested drugs can be unknown consequences.
But that's the thing I was talking about, because it's not legalized. Because... That's the thing.
They don't have enough people to test it out to see what it would do.
That, and it's being mixed with other stuff, which is unknown.
Maybe I mean, even the government themselves have done tests on the population, like on people without them even noticing.
Yeah.
They're like, there was this one thing where I believe it was in California. They sent this one chemical into the air to see like if it would have an effect or something, and
like Agent Orange.
Yeah, but it. Supposedly it caused some people to get sick, but not a whole lot. And it's like even the government induced that. Our government is
so messed up sometimes. Oh my gosh, that's so messed up.
Yeah,
that's sad.
I don't know. They even said it was supposed to be harmless, but you know, it ended up causing some people dying, and it's like
yeah, won't cause anyone any harm.
Yeah, so yeah, and then FDA's role in the drug approval process. I don't know if we need to go through that necessarily. That's a lot of stuff.
It's just basically the thing that is just said the FDA has not approved it yet, basically.
Yeah, because there's not enough data to go back on it. Yeah. Just with like climate change and crap, you know, like we're gonna go into that in a climate change podcast, but
I can't wait for that.
They don't have enough data to say, okay, you know, the
data proves that the ice caps are actually freezing more.
Even my own chemistry class basically debunked it.
Yeah, I mean,
like literally, and I'm learning it at a university, and they debunked it.
I mean, it's a university. I mean, if anyone could be in support of that, they would.
Yeah, but
and even now, like,
you know,
ice caps are freezing.
Well, he's like, come up with your own conclusion on it. Don't just take my opinions. Like, just come up with your own conclusion. I'm giving you the facts. You decide.
Yeah.
But really, I've kind of made my decision definitely after listening to that lecture. But
anyway, back to weed.
So. Finish it out here with what is the marijuana experience like for a user.
Yeah, so let's just say scenario here in the near future, year 2025, weed gets legalized, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what will your experience be like? Well, we are about to tell you. So for the newbie, the first time smoking marijuana is a unique experience. This is to say you have an extraordinary kind of like on...
This is from WikiLeaf.
Yeah, which is like, I guess, the go-to guide for anyone who wants to smoke pot. I mean, I guess so.
I find it funny how it shows old people on the page.
Why? Like, it's kind of funny.
Oh, that's funny.
We have the capability. We'll make sure that we have the capability. So why people struggle to get high the first time? So basically, this talking about many people struggle to get high the first time they smoke because one of the most likely theories is that smoking a joint like you would a cigar, like a cigarette, doesn't allow the smoke to reach your bloodstream, leaving you disappointed and sober. Another theory is that if your brain has never been exposed to THC, it simply doesn't know how to react to it. Basically, if you never smoked the chemical before, the brain's like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
And it gets confused.
Oh, that's the same thing like what, you know, when you inhale smoke for the first time. I've heard from smokers, you know, you don't get addicted the first time. You're like, that's disgusting. And you're like, you don't want to try it again. And then you're like, I want to try it again. You know, like something in your head is like there's a chemical in your brain, or you know, your brain's just thinking is like that wasn't so bad, and then like and at first your initial thought.
A couple months later, like, oh, this isn't the stuff.
Yeah, and then you're like, before you know it, you're addicted. Like it only takes a couple times. It's probably what it is there.
Yeah, and the edible factor. That's basically going back to like it's edibles are more intense than smoking. The high is more powerful, longer lasting, and not as instant. As a result, they're not great for first time. Okay, that's weird. But back to blunts, which is the smoking part of it. It just says that they won't doing it like this won't make your throat hurt, first of all. But time to get to some of the effects though. But obviously, first thing is that you'll feel euphoric, right?
Right.
And it says, you know the feeling when you get when you're drunk and you suddenly level the door, everything around you. It's sort of like that. So kind of like a psychedelic, actually.
Yeah.
With like shrooms.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point of getting high, I think, is a big...
Feel euphoric and stuff,
You're like all loopy, I guess.
What is this? Not loopy. It's different than that, dude. It's different.
Well, I mean, like, you're just not able to comprehend certain things. That looks like
That picture.
It looks like earwax.
It does, doesn't it?
That's a big clump of earwax you pulled out of your ear.
In a body?
Ugh.
If that's the name of an actual weed.
How many years have you waited to clean your ears out?
So how long have you been smoking earwax? Well, about 5 minutes.
It's a new upcoming drug. You smoke earwax.
Oh man.
How to create
earwax
at home.
Pick your ear, get a Q-tip.
I inhale it by smoke by making a earwax candle and.
Awesome. Put the ball up to your lips. Oh man. Another feel effect is that you feel relaxed, kind of like the euphoria thing. Okay, that's kind of bad. A negative effect is you might feel paranoia.
Okay.
So that's another one. And the reason for this is that the cannabinoids and marijuana, such as THC, bind the receptors in your brain. Like I said, it stops the flow. Some of these receptors help control your emotional processing, including your response to fear, stress, and what you perceive as danger. When you introduce THC into your system, you disrupt the balance. This might overexcite the neural pathways and cause paranoia. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for it, really.
Yeah, my advice is if it does get legalized, if you live in a legal state, go to a dispensary and speak to the people who work there.
Yeah.
Tell them, like, what's the least intense type of experience, like,
so,
what the effect's gonna be, will it hurt me or not.
Yeah, so let's come to a conclusion on this.
Yeah, so what's your view, Jeff?
My final consensus on this is I think that we should... My opinion, I don't think has changed since we first started.
Okay.
Like what I said in part 1, I said that I was kind of on the fence, and I'm still like, I don't really.
So I haven't really convinced you.
I don't know if on the fence is really the right way of saying it. Like I'm kind of like
some new facts that you didn't
like
know before?
I like it and I don't like it in certain ways. Like I don't like the health effects that it can cause. Like like
Heart
first off, like
conditions.
brain development could hinder that. And your growth and all this different things, like depending what age you are, but
then the high is alluring, isn't it? I mean, the effect you get when
not so much. I don't know. I'm not really in for that. I guess I'm just like, it's more like the economy as
making money. Yeah. Cha-ching. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? So, I really think that'll. It helps a lot, like just for people that like maybe want to start a business and they think, oh, this is my prime time to do it, like like a state of Ohio.
Weed is legalized. Look, this is winning a lot of money for me.
Yeah, I mean, like if you are one of the first people in your area to adopt this new idea, then go ahead. You might be making a fortune off of it.
You'll become richer than Jeff Bezos from Amazon. I mean, the guy made Amazon. I mean,
What's your final thought on it, Aiden?
Mine hasn't changed either. I think this podcast actually helps strengthen my view. Because, like I said, I mean, I might say this. I'm going to say this one more time just to close out here. But first of all, we all have to know this: the drug war has failed. Okay, like I said before, the drug war has failed. I mean, they've been trying to, criminalize these drugs for years, and look how that turned out. Like I've been saying,
Right.
I mean, you look at Mexico, and the U.S. hasn't been just trying to do it in the U.S. They've been trying to do it everywhere. Look at Mexico. Mexico's a complete mess. You got drug cartels, having access to tanks, guns, and stuff. They're, they're killing people with cocaine. They're selling them cocaine, meth, all this.
Yeah.
And it's all because we try to stop it. What does that create, Joe? It creates, underground sales, and that's not good. And you don't know if you're getting, when you buy something,
plus,
you don't know if
Aiden,
you get...
that's also money you could be making and helping the U.S. economy.
Grow by actually making marijuana that is safe.
I mean, okay, that it's not going to cause, like, real huge issues.
Because
like,
the FDA approved it, so they can monitor that and see,
once the FDA, finds a way to approve it.
Recreational use, yeah.
For recreational use, then, it'll really, I think, just help the economy because, like,
and also make sure it's
Aiden,
pure.
That's money that is going under the radar and it's never getting back into the economy.
Like I said, the police officers' jobs too, all that stuff. I mean, the stuff that they could be pulling over pot smokers when they could be solving a murder.
Yeah, and that stuff is not being taxed on because it's black market.
Yeah.
So
I mean, underground sales. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much it on that. I mean, what else do we gotta say?
I mean,
so I think that's pretty much it, guys. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like our podcast on YouTube and Apple Podcasts, and you can rate us on Apple Podcasts as well. And I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys.
See ya.